Nicole Scott with BNetTV.com. I'm down here at Mobile Entertainment Live at CTIA. I'm joined by David Staas with Ad Infuse. How are you doing today?
Fine, thanks.
So you're going to tell me a little bit about advertising and what you guys do.
Absolutely. So Ad Infuse, we're one of the fastest growing ad networks out there today. We are both a network and a platform. What that does is it enables us to serve both the advertiser, the publisher, and the operator. It's one of the things that make us unique is we can really bring the entire ecosystem together to enable this whole emerging segment of how do we make money with mobile content.
Mm-hmm. So how do you bring together all these different areas and then monetize them, really?
Sure. Well, the big thing is both the operator and has a lot of on-deck content, and then we have publishers who have the off-deck content as well, and both of them are looking at the same thing: how do I drive more revenue out of my content? And so really what it is we're in the early days of folks experimenting, trying to figure out what is the right revenue model. Is it a full-on ad-supported model? Is it just part subscription, part advertising? Do I segment between premium and other content? Lots of different ways that we see folks trying to move down that path. We work with all of our customers to help them figure out what that right business model is, and whichever way they want to go, we help them implement it, getting their content ad-enabled and into our network. And then on the flip side, our ad sales team works very closely with the major brands and the major media buying agencies to be able to bring those premium advertisers onto the premium content.
Interesting. Now, what are you seeing as one of the more popular models here today?
From a business model?
From a business model, yeah.
It really depends on whoever the content owner is. We see, for example, we did a recent pilot program with Swisscom in Europe, a major operator there, and they have a lot of subscription-based video content. And they were very interested in trying to figure out if I made some of this ad-enabled and either free or at a lower cost, would that drive greater growth? Would that drive greater adoption? Would that drive greater revenues for me? And what they found is that by making that content at a lower price, or free in some cases, they saw significant usage from their existing customers. They saw a tremendous number of new customers start using the content, which they wouldn't have had before. And then when they looked back across the revenue from all of that content, they found that the ad-supported model actually brought in more revenue than the full traditional subscription-based model. So I think we're seeing that kind of experimentation and starting to change those business models in the on-deck world and on the off-deck world as well. Certainly on the off-deck side, there's plenty of content publishers that are just making their content free for consumption right from the start, with the whole idea that they will enable it via advertising.
Yeah. Video on your phone it has to be one of the more compelling topics around CTIA and a couple
Absolutely.
of the past ones. And so what do we as the consumer expect to see? Or is there a pre-roll? Is there a post-roll? Is this going to be a static ad? Is it a video player? What do you think the winning model is?
Well, there's a couple parts to it. And again, it depends on where you want the message to be, and it depends a little bit on the content. A mid-roll can be a great type of video ad if you have some credits in the beginning before you get to the main event, and you want something in between where you really have a captive audience. But pre-roll and post-roll are also great models as well. And so again, it depends a little bit on the content. The thing that I think is really compelling from the user experience is you don't want to sit through a really long ad for a little piece of content. So it's about not just taking your video assets that you may have for the TV or even for the wireline internet and just putting them into mobile. You want to think about that user experience. It's also very important that it's a seamless experience, and so we do a lot of work on stitching together the ad and the content as it's delivered to the subscriber, so when they're watching it, it seems like one continuous video play. There isn't that pause and that break and buffering, and you're waiting and waiting. So we eliminate a lot of that. Those elements which can make it not a great experience. And it's all about making sure the consumer has a very good experience. And again, it's all different types of video content. So we'll enable streaming and downloading and progressive downloading on the iPhone. Lots of different ways of taking those video assets and making them part of the user experience.
Excellent. Well, David, thanks so much for taking the time to talk a little bit about advertising and what it means to the consumer and to all of us in the industry who can never get it right.
Well, thank you very much. My pleasure.
This has been David Staas with Ad Infuse, and I'm Nicole Scott with BNetTV.com.
Thank you.